What's up?
Let me fix my mic.
Mic one check 1 2 1 2.
Yes.
Give me a word. Give me a word. You know I'm not gonna freestyle.
Work, whatever. Okay, good day, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up?
Welcome to another pod. For founders, for creators, and for innovators.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Episode 11.
Episode
10,
11.
10 more left to 21.
10 more left.
We're almost
yes,
there.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long week.
For you it has, yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much exhausting mentally, but yes. Okay, the topic for today is keep on clapping for others until it's your turn to achieve success.
Yeah. You know I'm not gonna say anything.
So yes. Okay, so where is all this coming from? I was watching an interview by 50 Cent, and he's like, we pray for success. We forgot to pray for jealousy. We forget to pray for envy. And we forget to pray for entitlement.
Yeah.
Because you can't have success without all those things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then in my mind, I'm like, what? This guy? Like, no. Because too often the times, like, hey, you just want success, man. It's just, I'm not here to bother anyone. I'm just trying to do me, make a life better for myself, for my family, friends, etc. But then all these things coming out as well, like, hey, these extra things, these ugly nitty-gritty things, like, hey, you don't expect. You just want to be successful.
Yeah, but it's like
I'm not trying to hurt anyone.
But it's like Denzel says, I don't know if it's Denzel, but I heard it from Denzel. He said, you know, when you pray for rain, you must be able to deal with the mud. You know, so obviously when you pray for success, you must be able to. And I think when you actually get to that level, well, in my perspective, the way I see other people, when they've reached that level of success, the mud doesn't really bother them.
Okay, I think on my side it's just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yo, it's like, am I ready? Because, okay, there's this line by Future, it's like, Valentine's Day is the worst day. Got too many to please. So in my mind, it's like, okay, for me, it's like, payday is the worst day. Got too many to please.
What do you mean, too many to please in terms of people around? Not in the sense of Future, because the way Future says it, Pella, is...
No, but I can relate to Future. No, like, I can't. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Because, okay, in Future's mind, it's like, hey, there's so many girls like I have. Because Future is like, what, 8 baby mamas
yeah,
or
there's
what,
a lot of
something
baby
like
mamas.
that.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, it's too many to please. You can't just pick one.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, in terms of payday, it's like, hey, you get this cousin who needs help.
Yeah.
This other cousin who also needs help. This brother of yours who also needs assistance. It's like, hey.
And it's hard to pick who to help.
Yeah, you can't help. Because now it's like, hey, it's hard to pick. Who am I helping? Who should I leave out?
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you drown yourself trying to save a drowning person.
Yeah. It's like this thing you said. I don't know. What do you always say this to me when I argue with people in certain things that just don't make sense? Like a race. It's something about race downhill. No one's gonna.
Oh, a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Nobody wins.
Yeah. So it's basically something like that. You guys are both going down. Like, you're the one drowning. At the end of the day.
Exactly. But it's hard. The hardest thing I'm learning to do is say no.
But that's something you need to say.
That's what I'm learning. Because, like, hey, my mind is like, hey, I want to take everyone. It's like,
you can't, though. You can't say. And, and I just told you now, I just made a decision out of us, like, I need to make it and not care about how I feel about it. You know what I mean? So it has that shitty feeling, but it's best for you,
Yeah, that's what I'm learning also.
Yeah.
It's like, because Nipsey Hussle once said, like, circle gotten smaller, everybody can't go. And it's hard, especially if, like, you're not just doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
You want to take everybody along with you. Like, hey, I can't say I'm successful if all of my friends are not successful.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
when you have that mindset, it's like, hey, it gets a bit tricky for you by saying no, because you want to take everybody with you.
But you can't take along with everyone.
Yeah. Because also, even Snoop Dogg said it best, like, hey, there's a gap sometimes where you start off at the same level,
Yeah.
and then as you progress, your friends, family, cousins remain at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to bridge the gap now because you're at the top.
Yeah.
But once you go down, everyone loses. It's a
Yeah.
losing game.
It's a losing game. Oh,
So it's
Yeah.
hard. And also, since the gap is so big, it's hard for them to catch up.
it's hard for me. Yeah.
So now what do you do? It's like, hey, you want everyone to win, but what do? You can't go down. You can't
What
back.
do you do though?
Exactly. That's what I'm learning to figure out. It's like, hey, what do I
It's
do?
hard
And
to
it's like,
figure
hey,
out, and it's hard to let people go as well in that regard. Because as well, it's like, Nhlanipo, you can, let's say our gap is like this. You want to take me along, but I'm not willing to be tagged with. You understand? It's like
Exactly.
my actions, my lifestyle. It does not let you be able to take me along.
Yeah, but it's a tough one. Oh, what's been bothering me lately is like the entitlement that comes with. People, when you say people are entitled, like,
Yeah.
hey, some people get entitled to your success.
Yeah.
Because I remember, there was this colleague of mine was telling me, like, hey, she was helping this other lady, her cousin, out all the time.
Yeah.
And then it got into a point where this cousin was like, hey, thank you for helping me all this time. I want you to include me in your budget.
Who has the guts to say that?
Exactly. Like, you see, that's the thank you. It's like, hey, you try to give people a hand and then they want the whole arm.
Yeah, that's how it is, though. That's how it is. But do you think, have you been to a situation where it's hard to clap for someone, and not because you don't wish them good, but it's because you see how your life is going? Do you understand my question? I must say,
just elaborate a bit further.
I'm saying, you see a friend or someone, or a family member or someone. You're also working hard. They get to the top, or the top you think it's the top. Have you ever had that poverty? You can't clap for them because of where you are, not because you don't wish them bad. It's not like you wish them bad or you're jealous of them, but you're not where you want to be.
Oof. Okay. Can I share just
before
we answer you?
Yeah.
In my situation, it was like they were pitching me up against cousins. Like, hey, look at this cousin is getting this so much marks.
Yeah.
This guy has a car.
Oh yeah.
Your cousin is getting married.
Yeah.
And then here you are. So in my defense, no, he's getting good marks. Oh, happy for him. I'm the first to clap. It's like,
oh, you've always been that guy.
yeah, I've always been that guy. It's like,
yeah.
okay, so what? It's his. I don't want his life.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, good for him. He's getting married. Oh, good for him.
Yeah,
Tell him
yeah.
I'll get him a wedding gift.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's how I always used to avoid people like being pitted against someone else.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. It's like, watch your own plate, man. I can't be watching someone else's plate. Like, hey, Philly's eating McDonald's in his plate,
Yeah.
and here I am with one piece of KFC.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been focused on my plate.
Yeah. It's like, this is what I have. This is what I'm gonna work with.
Yeah, this is what I have, and I'm gonna make the most of what I have.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does answer. No, I'm asking because I've had people when I was in varsity. We had these talks. People just like they would say sometimes it's hard to clap for a friend, not because I wish them bad, but it's because
where you are at your
yeah,
life.
because it's where I am in my life. It's like I'm also putting, but sometimes it's like, are you really putting enough work? You think you are, but it's a difficult one. The mind is a difficult place to be in.
The biggest lesson that I've learned is like, okay, maybe there's nothing wrong with watching another person's table just for inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, because there's a scene where the devil's advocate, if I'm not mistaken, by Al Chapino, yeah. You know the devil's advocate, the movie?
No, I don't.
It's like, okay, let me just give you the gist of this. My favorite scenes, like, what does he say? You can touch, but you can't taste. You can taste, but you can't swallow. So the whole scene was like, hey, about how God plays this game where it's like he gives people all this, but there's rules and regulations, and then you have to keep on jumping from one feet to the next. It's like, hey, it's like, hey. So for me, that's how I look at other people. It's like, hey, you can look, but you can't touch. You can touch, but you can't taste. You can taste, but you can't swallow. So only thing is, I just get inspired from someone else doing better than me. Oh, how did he do this? What can I learn from this person? I just take it from that perspective instead of like, hey, just look at this person is here and I deserve more than him. That's like entitlement.
It is entitlement. It is. See? I think it's good to look at people who are doing better than you. I actually do it sometimes because obviously they say motivation doesn't work, commitment and dedication. But sometimes you need to bring back that motivation when you have it that day. So I would literally intentionally go watch people doing better than me. I'm like, this is actually where I want to be, and go back and put in the work.
Exactly. You just like, because jealousy is also a deadly sin. Just clap for people. I'm the first to clap. To be jealous, and it was like, hey. But then it's also like comes to a point where people are also like jealous of your success. Like, hey, I was clapping for you all this time, and now
that's the problem. Like, hey, that's the thing. It's like, what do you do when that happens? It's like you've been clapping for this person, but clearly they don't want to see you win. It's like when you are winning, it's like he's catching up now.
Exactly. It's like, hey, J. Cole also said like, I forgive him because I know their ways. Soon as they see a black man shine, they throw their shade.
Damn.
So it's like sometimes like, hey, why is it that it's always the people closest to you throwing shade?
That's true. And
that's why this 50 Cent thing, he hit me deep. It's like, hey, you've been praying for success, but success comes with all of these things.
And you need to be able to deal with them.
You need to be able to manage it at the smaller stage. You start off small. Because that's how I view, like, hey, the reason why I'm not here is because imagine if I was there now, how would I manage all these things? Because of whereas I'm struggling now with the little things. So technically, you don't deserve to be there.
That's what I thought of it. I thought of it as like, even if we let's say this blows up or whatever, it's going to be hard to deal with because already now I'm taking to heart some of the things people are doing. It's like, I'm like, what?
It's frustrating when it's like, hey, I want us all to win.
It's like, but I never expected this from you. It's like, I'm paid to. I don't want that. I'm just focusing on this.
So now look at it. You're not managing at a micro level. So imagine how deep you'll drown in a massive scale. So that's how I view, like, okay, maybe that's the reason why I haven't gotten to where I wanted to in life. Because I'm struggling to manage the little things.
And it's okay to not have it figured out in terms of how to manage it. But as long as you are learning and like, I see the mistake I did here. Exactly. This is how I should manage. Also, you see on the thing of saying no, I feel like a person needs to be able to say no despite how you feel. You see, that's the hardest thing to do. It's like you don't want to do it, but you need to.
It's a must. That's the thing we always talk about. Hey, we don't want to do this, but hey, we know it has to happen.
It needs to be done. And it also, because for me, it comes with sometimes, see, even today, I didn't feel like recording, but I know I have to. I can't feel like,
I can't. Exactly.
You have to do it. Even the time you were studying, it was, some weeks you were like, hey, Bates.
I don't want to study, but hey, what's an hour? It's like, hey,
you see.
I have to. Like,
you have to. So I feel like that you need to implement that in every part of your life so that even when you, at that point of, I need to say no, you need to be able to say no to. It starts, as you said, at the micro level, in your part of your life, and then, we can implement it in other parts. So it needs to start on a micro level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's two sides to the coin.
In what sense?
Okay, so because now we're talking from a position of success, let's look at it at the person, at the jealous person who doesn't want to clap for your success.
Yeah.
Like, because this isn't we saying like, hey, clap for someone else until it's your
It's
turn
your
to
turn,
shine.
Yeah.
Then let's look at it at the person's, at the opposite person,
Opposite
not
person.
the flip
Yeah.
side of
Not
the
the
coin.
success one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because the part I'm struggling to understand is, how do you get to a point of entitlement? Like, hey, it's your friend. Then you feel like, hey, I deserve this also.
Things I can never understand that because I don't have it. You understand? It's a difficult thing to understand if you. I don't know.
Because I saw it got into points where it's like, hey, Philly's here because of me.
Oh yeah.
Do you know, like, hey, you are here because of me.
Yeah.
Without me, you weren't going to be anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what Jay-Z said?
Yeah.
Jay-Z said in interesting lines like, I heard people saying they made Hove. Made Hove said, okay, so make another Hove.
I remember that line.
Exactly. Like,
I remember
hey,
that
okay,
line.
so make another Hove.
Make another Hove. Clearly, you're capable of making a Hove.
Exactly. Like, hey, because mama, like, hey, you think you made me? Like, because the thing is, people don't see what you put in.
Yeah.
The process, yeah. They only see the event, the result. They don't know the actual process. Like, hey, I'm doing this.
And then now they want to be part of the
Then you're thinking like, hey, you are here because of me. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Make another Hove.
Make another Hove. But I don't know. I struggle to understand people like that. You know, I struggle to understand people who are so entitled. It's like, that's why sometimes I now started deleting people, because I'm like, people sometimes they just want to be there to have access to you once you get there.
Because the thing is, my biggest issue is like, hey, I was clapping for you to win.
Yeah.
Just because that train never got to its destination doesn't mean it was my fault now. Since I'm also moving on my own direction, my own lane.
Yeah.
And then, like, my success had something to do with your downfall or your failure.
Yeah.
Where do you get that mindset from? Like, hey, I was the one clapping for you. Like, hey, you're doing a great job. Good for you.
Yeah. But also, do you think, I don't know how to phrase this one because it's running away. Like, sometimes the people we're clapping for are happy that we're just clapping for them. They don't want, like, when it's their turn to clap for us, it becomes hard. Like, as you're saying, how do you go about that? Because now when you're like, okay, clearly you don't want to see me win. Yeah, you're at the top. You don't want to see me win. So I'm just gonna remove myself, and that obviously would mean I'm not clapping for you. Not that I need to clap for you, but I'm gonna remove myself from you in a sense. You know, because some people, it's like, you don't know. Maybe you treated them in a sense. They're clapping for you, but they need your help, and you're not able to, or whatever, and they just decide to remove themselves. Does not mean they wish you bad, but they just stop being in that.
Okay,
Am I making sense? I know it took time to go. Yeah. Yeah. So there's also those situations, you know. Yeah, that happens like that. So there's people at the top that don't want to see you coming to the top. That's just the truth. They're happy with you clapping for them.
Yeah, they're happy with you just being a fan.
Yeah, you're a fan. That's all you are. And there's people, I'm telling you now, I've experienced it. Some people, like they it's like, mind you, we're friends, ne? And I get a record deal. I'm at the top. Now as a friend, I want you to be my fan. You know, my friend. You're my fan now. You understand? I'm treating you as a fan. Obviously, you're gonna remove yourself from me. You know, but they would think, or they would say, maybe you're not clapping for them anymore. You wish them that, you know, things like that. So it's not out of jealousy or whatever, but you just like, I'm not your fan. I'm your friend. But now you're treating me as a fan, so I'll listen to your music. You know, but from a distance, I'll support you from a distance.
So do you think success changes people?
I think it does. I think
Okay.
it does. Not change in a bad way, but you will change in some sense.
Okay, here's my counter.
Okay, yeah.
Here's my counter.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine all this time, Phil, I was asking you for like, hey, Phil, can you loan me with 100 rand?
Yeah.
Can you loan me with 10 rand, 50 rand?
Yeah.
Can you, the highest I go is 200 rand.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, Phil has attained success. Like, hey, Phil, bruh, I'm struggling. I need 100,000. Who changed here?
Yeah. You changed.
You see?
Yeah. No, but
So that was my okay.
Oh yeah, I get that counter. You see that, but that example.
Because that's
why
why one person said to me, like, hey, who changed here? People say, like,
Oh no.
because the thing is, they say money doesn't change a person. It brings out who you really are.
Yeah. But you're gonna go through some changes, Landy. But remember, bro, there's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, okay, because
I'm not saying
you're
you're
not
gonna
working
change
this
for the
hard
worse.
to just stay the same.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's not necessarily you changing. It's just
not always
you
you that
becoming of
changes.
what you already are.
But we can't assume that every successful person changed for the better.
No, what I'm saying is, it's like, hey, all this time, Phil was just quiet because he didn't have any money. Phil wasn't a loud mouth.
Yeah.
Now that Phil has money, his true colors will eventually start to show.
True. Yeah.
So in my count is money doesn't necessarily change you. It just brings out or amplifies who you already are.
But sometimes do you think it's like, so I had an experience where I thought I wasn't a car person, yeah, but I was like, cars. I drove Viano at some day. Past month drove Viano, ne? Give me, I was like after the day I was like, nah, I love cars. Like after the day I was like, nah, I love cars. But it's because I didn't get that experience with he. I'm driving that. So I didn't know. So no one that doesn't have success, they will never know who they really are until they have the money. You understand? So once they get there, obviously you're gonna amplify who they really are, but it doesn't mean it always shows. This is who they are.
Yeah, but you judge because okay.
Yeah.
Okay. To answer your question, I feel like you judge the person based on the little things, on the little success they attain.
They attain, okay. Yeah.
There was this story, I won't mention names, but this girl was like, hey,
Yeah.
how do I know if I keep on building this person that this person won't change on me as soon as they attain success or that level of wealth?
Oh, well, yeah.
It's like, hey, you watch the little things.
Yeah.
Because he has been getting money payday. Okay, what does he do with his salary? Does he spend it with you or with other friends?
Yeah.
That should be telling enough. We fail to pay attention to the little things, and then once the person is success, you say, no, you changed. No, I've always been this person.
Yeah.
You just fail to notice the kind of person I was with that small level of success.
Oh, yeah. The person at the receiving end obviously will notice, but I'm saying
Yeah, but sometimes the person at the receiving end fails to notice. Like, hey,
that's true.
so it's your fault at the end also.
Yeah.
You fail to notice the little things. How does this person react to like success or this a certain level of wealth?
Are you saying, Guti, you must hold yourself accountable for assuming or not noticing? In a sense, like, okay, I'm there, and like, I've never given you anything. I've never given you food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, like you've never given me anything. Then how can I say I feel is like, hey, feel is like, because you never give me anything. Now I'm expecting you to give me.
Now I'm expecting.
All of a
Is that
sudden,
what
like,
you're saying? Guti, as on the receiving end, I should never expect anything from you because
based on my mini successes or whatever. Okay, because I've learned to be a good study of behavior.
Yeah.
Because a person will tell you one thing, hey, dog, if we get this right, we all sorted, we all good.
Yeah.
We all had those conversations with friends. Like, hey, once I do this, me and you are all set.
Yeah.
We in this together.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll help you get a job in my work, whatever the case may be. But then the person like gets to work, he looks at your CV like, hey, like, hey, next, okay. Or look, get a certain level of success, and then they start leaving you behind and go chill with other friends. Because that's always the case. Also, you see some friends like, hey, when we're struggling, hey, we in this together, dog.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
but then they start to attain a certain level of success. Now it's like, hey, I can't be chilling with Phil anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Phil is not where, it's not at the level I'm at now.
But don't you think we have friends? We all have friends.
We all have those friends, but whose fault is it? Because you failed to notice your friend.
But I'm saying, listen, back to square one. I'm saying, Guti, yes, the person at the receiving end obviously needs to attain. But I'm saying, not every successful person changes for the better. Like, it's not like they Mayabona because you didn't notice. Yes, you can't say, I can't say they've changed or they've what or now they're like this because I failed to, you understand. You can say it, but obviously as you argue now, you have to hold yourself accountable now with I should have seen all this. I should have seen it coming in the series. Barely, Phil will never give me money. Phil, you understand? Because Phil never gives you money. Phil next. Or if I need some, Phil will never do this for me.
Okay, here's my counter. Just throw this up. It's like, okay. Does the caterpillar change? Okay, does the caterpillar change into a butterfly, or does the caterpillar evolve to the butterfly?
What? But they're both the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah. Did the caterpillar change to the butterfly, or did the caterpillar evolve?
It evolved.
It evolved.
Yeah, it evolved.
So the same as the person, they just evolved to.
Okay.
They didn't change.
Okay.
The caterpillar is still it's still the same species. It's still one thing. It's still the same person.
Okay, so
it's still the same insect.
In my argument of
okay, you get this point. A caterpillar and a butterfly
I knew you
is
were gonna
still
use that.
the same insect.
I knew you were gonna use that when you said caterpillar.
Yeah, they just evolved to a different position. Like same as a person, you just evolved to a different level that you're like.
Okay. In my example, I'm a music star, man.
Okay.
And I'm treating you as a fan.
Yeah.
But I've never treated you as a fan. Like I was always coming to you.
Okay, I think I follow you.
Yeah. So
okay, let's say we start off as caterpillars and then you just happen to evolve to a butterfly first.
Why are you using caterpillar?
Okay, no, okay.
Obviously, you're gonna win that argument.
Okay, wait. I'm sticking. Let me stick to this point. It's like, okay, because I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just saying though. But
why am I treating you differently now? Like, why are you treating me differently?
Yeah. It's like why now? Because okay, I have hit songs, and now I'm not like I'm treating it as it's like okay, I go live on Instagram, and you're like my boy. I'm like I feel it. Darren's gonna call me now, but I have your number. I act like Vele, but also I'm treating it as like Shalali. It's
okay. There's many ways this argument can turn out.
Yeah.
All I can say is like, okay, well, like this song by Royce the 509 is like, remember when you're praising the butterfly, don't you ever disrespect the caterpillar.
Okay.
So I think, because it's relative to the person.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter on which receiving end are you. You're at the top or whatever. Like, hey, we're still the same. Like, hey, me and you are still the same.
Yeah, but I'm arguing in the sense, you'll never see that coming. That's what I'm saying. In that sense, you can't take accountability. It's like Phil Velo has always been like this. Even I have success now, but I still come to you. I haven't blown. I haven't had a hit single man. I don't have the whole nation, whole world singing my song. You understand?
Yeah, but in all of our journeys, we all encounter some little bit of success.
Yeah,
like,
but
hey,
I'm saying
Phil had some money.
Still there. In that success, you still like in those.
How are you treating me? It's like, hey, because remember those friends you were talking about? Like, hey,
yeah,
they've attained a certain level of success, but now we never get the call. Like, hey, I'm doing this. Invite. Like, hey, are you free? That consideration. Like, hey, I know Phil was down there with me from day one. Phil, are you free in this day? I want to celebrate.
Yeah. So do you get the call?
Do you get the call?
Yeah.
Whenever your friends are out celebrating, do you get the call?
Yeah.
The consideration. Like, hey, I want to celebrate. And I know you've been with me day one.
Yeah.
you start to notice those things like, hey,
The
your
little
friend is
things.
no longer chilling with you because now, hey, they fit a certain different circle. So you're no longer part of that circle.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So I think just notice the little things.
Yeah.
The little things will tell you so much about a person.
Yeah. True.
So you see.
But you should continue clapping for people, man.
Yeah, that's the
Continue.
thing. Like, hey,
Continue clapping for people. Sometimes, even if I don't know a person, I just clap for them, seeing how good they're doing. It's just, you know, it's like, man, this is good. This is good. So yeah.
so yeah, the take home is to sum this thing whole up. I'll leave you with the saying from Tupac. It's like, I got love for my brothers, but we can never go nowhere unless we start sharing with each other.
Mm.
We gotta start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be. How can I let the devil take a brother if he's close to me?
I was gonna argue that, but it's the end. Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we are in this together
We
at the
in
end
this-
of
yeah,
the day.
at the end of the day, man.
The caterpillar and the butterfly is still the same insect.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yeah. The caterpillar can give the butterfly praise, but the butterfly shouldn't also disrespect the caterpillar.
Yeah. That's well said. Yeah.
Because it's just, we are still one and the same, you and I.
Yeah.
So
Right.
thank you, ladies
That's
and
the
gentlemen.
end.
That's the end for this one.
Yeah.